it's Janelle Waz, and welcome to the next part of my action figure collection. We had a solid start up to my collection last time around, so continuing with my action figure collection, I have 8 more next-gen figures to go through. We got some great figures from some of next-gen's top episodes in this part of Waz's action figure collection. Let's go! But before I go further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. Be great to have you aboard. Up first, Rai and Jiri at Lunga, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. It's Captain Dathon from the next-gen episode Darmok, an episode where Picard and a meme-talking captain battle a local creature and learn each other's languages. It's one of my personal favorites. A Series 2 action figure from 1993, Captain Dathon comes with orange accessories, each of them having a special importance in the episode. He comes with 2 daggers, one that he can hold and one that he could give to Picard to fight the beast at Aladrel, and that Picard can slap away.
I'm not gonna fight you!
I also like that you can store one of the daggers in a little sheath on his chest, and that's usually where I keep it. He also comes with his captain's logbook, which Picard snuck a little peek at, and the flaming branch that he gave Picard to start a fire.
Thank you.
The base itself is pretty boring, actually. Just a crater, but since we only saw the Tamarians once in the show, what else could they have done?
Shaka. When the walls fell.
So Koth, his eyes uncovered. Dathon is going up on the second row behind Picard. He doesn't know any of the other figures, so it makes sense to have him by Picard, for he who was his friend through adventure and hardship is on the tier above him.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
Now, Next Gen had some great original series guest stars, and each of those appearances was a special treat. And coming from one of those special appearances is Spock's dad, Sarek. Dressed in his Vulcan robes, Sarek is ready for negotiations with the Lagarans as he unleashes his emotions on everyone on the ship, which results in Wesley Crusher being slapped. A third wave action figure from 1994, Ambassador Sarek comes with a Vulcan Idic base, which is supposed to be held at an angle, as well as some blue accessories. I got this action figure loose, and as is the case with a lot of loose action figures, I don't have all the accessories. Luckily, the only missing accessory for Sarek is a Vulcan book. But this Ambassador Sarek action figure did come with a Stylin Vulcan medallion, a harp to strum out some beats, and a Vulcan gong that appeared during Spock's wedding in Amok Time. Sarek is out on the town and ready for diplomacy. Now, Sarek can really only hold accessories with one hand, since with the other hand, he's flashing the Vulcan hand salute. So I have him holding the Vulcan harp. The chicks love a musician. Live long and prosper, ladies. Ready to bust out a tune, Sarek is taking his place next to Dathon and diagonal from Picard, where perhaps he and Waxana can adore diplomacy together.
Oh, I adore diplomacy.
Who's the logical ambassador that's a logical machine to all the chicks? Spock! Right. It's Ambassador Spock from the next-gen episode Unification. A Series 2 action figure adorned in his Romulan shoulder pads. They say Spock is one bad... Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Spock. And we can all dig it.
Indeed.
But now it's time for some cowboy diplomacy. Now, Unification is another favorite episode of mine, so when I happened upon this figure for a couple of bucks loose, it was a no-brainer. Much like when Spock lost his brain.
Where are you going to look for Spock's brain?
However, he only came with one accessory and his Idic base. A complete set comes with purple accessories that include a Klingon monitor, Romulan pad, and a Vulcan book, but I only have the Romulan phaser rifle. Can't be too careful on the streets of Romulus, am I right? And it also took me longer than it should have to figure out that he can hold the rifle with 2 hands and not like a pistol. Although it's not like Spock knows how to hold a rifle in that episode. And the thing is, he should know how to hold a rifle. Holding his rifle in a rather badass manner, Spock is going to take his place next to his daddy. He may be a most illogical cowboy to his father, but to us, he's Spock.
I was involved with cowboy diplomacy, as you describe it, long before you were born.
But But since we're on the subject of unification, jean-luc Picard. Alright, that was terrible. In his search for Spock, Picard wears some prosthetics to look Romulan as he and Data roam the streets of Romulus looking for Spock. And eating soup. And yes, Romulan Picard does indeed come with his very own soup bowl, which I sadly couldn't fit in his hands, even though it's clearly the best accessory. Instead, Picard is armed because you can't be too careful on the streets of Romulus, even with those lethal pointy shoulder pads. A Season 7 series action figure, Romulan Picard in his brown snuggie and Romulan haircut that makes him long for baldness, comes with purple accessories that include a Romulan disguise kit, phaser, pad, and of course, soup bowl.
Eat your soup, courtesy of a loyal establishment.
And this little soup connoisseur comes with a Romulan action base, which is very weirdly designed. Hold the base with the logo right side up, and Picard's name is upside down. It's also a very wide base, making it extremely annoying to display on my shelves, but nevertheless, Romulan Picard is going to stand next to Spock. In some ways, after those mind melds, they're almost like brothers.
You mean he's your brother?
But of course, we need Picard's Romulan buddy, Romulan Data. Heck, he's practically family to Tasha Yar's Romulan daughter, Sela.
It never happened.
And let me tell you, Romulan Data is packin'. Sure, Spock comes with a rifle, and Romulan Picard comes with a Romulan phaser. But Data? Romulan rifle and a phaser! Romulan muggers, look elsewhere. Data's practically the Charles Bronson of Romulus. Like Romulan Picard, Romulan Data is a 7th season series action figure and comes with orange accessories. Romulan rifle, Klingon monitor, a very non-orange phaser, and a Romulan pad. He also comes with the same Romulan base as Picard, which nearly led to an action figure catastrophe during placement. Actually, a couple of them. Honestly, both figures are not the sturdiest figures in my collection, but I managed to stabilize both Data and Picard, completing the Unification series of action figures.
Not bad.
Next up, Scotty!
Alright, Scotty.
Yes, James Doohan guest starred in the Season 6 episode Relics, a good episode that can be a little hard to watch because Geordi is so mean to Scotty. Transparent aluminum? Whales? Does any of that mean anything to you, Geordi? Scotty should have hung out with Chief O'Brien. He'd appreciate him. A Series 2 1993 action figure, a rather seasoned Captain Scott comes with some Han Solo-esque attire and plenty of orange engineering tools, as well as a dilithium crystal. I have him holding a wrench-like tool and a multi-range light source. To be honest, some of these tools are simply listed as tools on the box, though I bet Scotty could tell you what they are. Scotty shall be looking over everyone upon the highest tier on the shelf. He knows all and sees all.
Back home, we call him the miracle worker.
Indeed.
But now, we can't have Scotty by himself. After all, he was in that pattern buffer for a couple of decades. He could use a friend. So let's put Chekov next to him, where they can discuss the finer points of Scotch versus vodka.
This is vodka. Where I come from, that's soda pop. Now, this is a drink for a man.
This Chekov comes from the Generations line of action figures from 1994 to promote Star Trek Generations. This is another figure I got loose, but it did come with all the accessories. In his original series movie uniform, Chekov comes with an original series phaser, an original series communicator, and an original series tricorder. He also comes with a DS9 Voyager era comm badge, which was also used in the Next Gen movies. Unlike a lot of the Playmates action figures, Chekov can't bend his knees, which is how I give the figures a little extra support. Luckily, he doesn't have too much trouble with that, so it's not much of an issue and looks fine on my shelf. Now, we've had plenty of old men in this episode, so here's one more. Old Man Riker! Coming from the line of action figures from 1996 that spanned multiple shows, Admiral Riker is from the next-gen finale All Good Things, where Picard sees a future where Riker is a sad old man who took 2 promotions too many, lost Deanna, and is mad at Worf. This Frosted Frakes comes with blue accessories that include a phaser, pad, desktop monitor, and tricorder. Only this plastic has aged and refuses to hold onto anything, leaving the Admiral to fold his hands in a dignified pose with his old man physique. Yes, this Riker is not ripped like his ripped Riker counterpart, and also leans to one side. It's the highest tier for the old men, with Riker taking his spot next to an older Chekov. And here's the progress so far. Tune in next time to see who else is beaming over to the Star Trek shelf. There's still plenty of crew left on that planet. As always, thanks for tuning in to an episode of Waz's Action Figure Collection. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends! Until next time...
I was involved with cowboy diplomacy, as you describe it, long before you were born.